In this video, we're going to focus on interaction. So for example, if I hover over here quickly, you can see here we get the mouse move. It will track every mouse movement we do on the canvas. And once we're mouse out, we get here, like for example, a action of mouse out being shown. If I click on this, you will see here now, it will recognize the click, recognize the mouse move and the mouse out. So of course, with this, you can do far more advanced items to play around with. So let's start to look how we can create these interactions here with Chart.js. So let's start to look at how to create an interaction in Chart.js. So first of all, I want to create my boiler template, or I want to get my boiler template, which you can find on chartjs3.com, getting started, this specific link, which you can find as well in the description box. Once you're on here, just copy this chunk of code here. If you want to understand what this boiler template does or how it's being constructed, please watch this video here that explains it all. So then, I'm going to cut out the title, put the title in here, save, refresh, let's maximize the size, 80%. Save, refresh. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to create basically a simple div here where we're going to put in later on, once we have an event, trigger something or add up a element, something like that. So I'm going to say here div id equals, what we can say here, add item. And this would be just a blank ID because we're going to apply it in here. So then what I want to do is here, I want to create a plugin. Let's say here plugins, and then we can call this the event or new or custom event. Let's copy it like that. Copy this, and then what I want to do here is create here the / custom event plugin block constant this equals that. Then we say id will be equal to the custom event, and then when would we like to trigger this event? Well, I want to trigger the event after the event has passed or after we did something. So we're going to say here after event. So after the event, so when I, for example, if I do a mouse over or a click, after that, then we do something. That's basically what you can do. You can also do before, so that before the click, you want to do something like loading or anything you can imagine. Basically the same structure. So chart, arcs, and then let's put in there the plugin options. Then, and this is one of the very few times, we're going to use the arguments here because this can help us to trigger or track what type of event we have. So I'm going to say constant event will be equal to arcs, which is the argument, and an event. Now, if I do a console log of the event, if I save this, you can see here, open up developer tab. Then if I do this, you see this, and if I click on it, it will recognize something. Mouse out, mouse move. Hover is not being recognized here, sadly enough. Maybe there might be one, but sadly enough, it's not. But if I do a click, it does recognize. If I do a right click, I guess that doesn't recognize. But click and mouse move and mouse out are recognized. So what I'm going to do now is, when I, for example, click, I want to show a paragraph here. To add here paragraph is click. If I do a mouse move, I want to add a paragraph with mouse move, and if we are mouse out, then we do a paragraph with mouse out. Very straightforward. So what I'm going to do here now is, let's remove all of this, because that already shows everything that we need to know. And then I'm going to say here, first of all, let's say constant. And what is the constant I want to grab is this one here. Where is it? The add item. So we're going to add anything here. So I'm going to say here document.getElement by ID. Then we want to make sure that this is that. Alright. Then what I want to do is if the event dot type, and this is very important because when we have here the event, you can see here the type specifies what it is, and that's what I need to have. The event dot type, and we say here event type, and then we can say here will be equal strict to click, for example. In that case, what I want to do is I want to do something here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say here constant p. I'm going to create a element, which is a paragraph element. So I say document dot create element, and this element will be our paragraph. Next, what I want to do is a constant and say p text, and this will be the text node that we want to create. So say document dot create text node, and this text node will be click. So once we did this, all I want to do now is I want to append, and append means to attach. So attach the child to this parent element here. So this is the parent, so we say this is the parent dot append the child. So what is the child? Well, the child is the P paragraph here. Of course, we're not done yet because I need to append this to the paragraph as well, or else we have no text. So let's do that as well. Again, we can just copy this basically, and I'm going to say here, instead of add item, the parent will be now the paragraph, and this text node is basically a child of the paragraph. So now we have this, and now we have that. So if I save this now and refresh, and if I click here, as you can see here, it works nicely. So what I want to do now is just do all the other items. Let's do another one here. This would be mouseout. And we have another one here. Let's say here, this will be mouseout. And finally, maybe mousemove. So we have them all. The mousemove will give us the mouse movement, of course, because mousemove will track every pixel movement. So we say here, mouse move, save, refresh. Alright, so let's pay attention here. As you can see here, whoa, this goes really fast. I probably have to make this a bit smaller. There you are. As you can see here, mouse move, mouse out, click, and you can see it goes really fast, of course. Then yeah, I guess that is way too fast for us. Anyway, you can see here we have the click. If I click quickly, we have the mouse move, and we have the mouse out once we are out of it. As you can see here, if I go very quickly over it. And that's basically how you can create these events in Chart.js quickly. So if you enjoyed this video, maybe you want to do like when you hover over it, that will change the cursor. Well, in that case, I'm going to recommend you this video here on how to change the mouse cursor on hover on a bar chart, for example, which is also quite nice. It's another type of interaction you can offer on Chart.js.